Jacob, your third pick. I love this. This is too much fun.
All right, so my last pick, the Giannis MVP odds are at plus 900, and this is somebody who has won the MVP before. So I I don't know. I'm kind of like drawing comparisons here, and this might be a stretch. This might be a yoga level stretch, but you had LeBron in 2018 kind of go scorched earth before. Um, you've had there've been MVP seasons. Russell Westbrook with Oklahoma City, James Harden with Houston, where the supporting cast wasn't really that good around them, and it took a significant statistical season in all three categories: points, rebounds, assists, for that player to elevate themselves, even if that team was a 6 seed, 5 seed, 7 seed. And I think that's the case here with Milwaukee. I understand, not the biggest Doc Rivers fan. I totally understand it. Look, I think the '08 Celtics between Doc and Paul Pierce were actively taking away from the legacy of the '08 Celtics sometimes. But at 900 for somebody who's still a top five player in the league, who is still in his prime, so to speak, and hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. I love that MVP. I love those MVP odds. And it's a narrative award. And that can, create, open up a Pandora's box of, the meaning of MVP. And so, I'll save that rant for another time. But Giannis, if anybody in the league is capable of going scorched earth and dragging a bottom half roster to a top 6 seed in their respective conference, I think it's Giannis with Milwaukee here. And I understand it was disappointing the Dame Lillard tenure and losing some of those pieces of the championship in years past, and a lot of departures are out the window. Not a lot of reasons to be excited if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan this upcoming season. You're kind of teetering on, well, like, do I want Giannis to be a career Milwaukee Buck? Should we just get something for him as opposed to losing him for nothing when he walks in free agency? Does Giannis want to be here full term? From all signs point to him being here at least by the trade deadline. He didn't leave this offseason, and I think that was a major hurdle to clear for the Bucks organization. We don't know what the direction of the organization is. A lot of it is going to be dependent on what the long-term or even short-term future of Giannis is for the next 3 to 4 seasons. Why not? Why not go scorched earth this year? Why not drag this underperforming team? If he can get this team to a top 5 seed, top 4 seed, especially like we said, we said this a lot, but the East is not going to be that good next season. Indiana might be out of it. Boston might be out of it. We don't know what Orlando does. We don't know what Atlanta does. Knicks could regress with Mike Brown. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that Giannis goes scorched earth, gets this team to a top 5 seed, and wins MVP next season.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear what you're saying. I think it is fascinating, and we've kind of said it. Every year, Jokic is MVP. Like, this is very similar to LeBron, those late Cleveland, Miami, back
Can't
to
give it
Cleveland.
to him every year.
Every year, that's who's the MVP, and it's the same thing with this situation. But Giannis, number-wise, is not that different than what Jokic is doing. It's just Jokic, I think, is consistently at that triple-double level.
Right.
And with Giannis, like you just said, he's won it before. The odds are really good to kind of go for that. The East is not going to be great. I mean, who in the East who's the next best player in the East that's healthy and going to play next year?
Brunson, Jaylen Brown.
I mean, and those are guys. They're not touching Giannis. Not
break out Jalen Suggs here.
Right. That's it. Unless it's one of these new guys. I mean,
right.
Cade Cunningham, Paulo Banchero.
Sure.
But even then, it's like those guys aren't Giannis yet. And so I'm with you on that one. Giannis is clearly the best player in the East. There's not even a player really close to him, I think, after this right now that's going to be healthy. The only one I would say would really push him is maybe Jason Tatum, but he's not going to be playing this year, or at least a majority of the year. So I'm with you on that. It's hard because we're about to get my MVP vote, which is my third bet. And it's hard because because it is a narrative and media driven thing, and we both know Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Those spots kind of 2, 3, 4 are fluid and constantly moving. But that's where it's like there's not stats that are going to be like, this is why Giannis wins MVP because he's going to do this, this, and this. It really is just more of what's the narrative around him?
Right.
And I think there is a lot of press on him right now because of that potential trade. I think that's good for his MVP hopes because there's going to be more eyes on Milwaukee, which is never the case even when they win the championship. It's not a case that the media is watching Milwaukee.
Dude, I can see it now. Tears in his acceptance speech, talking about they thought I was gonna leave. They thought we weren't gonna be anything this season. I'm already seeing it now, man. It's cinema. I can't wait.
No, I'm with you on that one. I'm absolutely with you on that. I like that one, which gets me into my last one, which is I'm going Luka MVP at plus 500. I
Skinny
think
Luka.
here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, if you have watched the Mavs closely over the last few years, and one of us on this has, we get this. This is not the first time we've heard skinny Luka.
Yep.
The problem with Luka is that he does this in the offseason. He doesn't maintain it through the season. He starts to pick up injuries. He starts to put weight on. He starts to look out of shape. He starts to whining and complaining and stuff with the refs. And I just think this year the narrative around him, we're not that far removed from him being head and shoulders better than Shai and them going to the NBA Finals. People forget
I
that
think
was
he's better than Shai right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, but you got to get it's recency bias. Shai just had the best year in NBA history.
Yeah.
And we're 14 months removed from Luka being clearly the third best player on that list of best players in the NBA. And he might have, with the run last year, have been over Giannis. Like, he's at least in that top.
I think he's number 2 right now.
Okay, you've got him too. I will, because of what's happened, I will give him 4. Because I think right now Giannis is probably over there and Shai has to be at the top and then Jokic is there. But there's this element with Luka that I just think Jokic has gotten MVPs before. They've given one to Embiid. They've given one, I don't want to say they gave it to Shai, but Jokic's numbers were a lot better than Shai's this year.
Yes.
Luka, I think, is the next guy up in this media narrative to get that.
And it's a perfect narrative, but keep going.
It's a perfect narrative. He's in LA. He's got an awesome teammate with LeBron. The team is still, I mean, they finished 3rd in the West last year, and I think there was so much noise going on.
Correct.
You had Luka literally was sad. Like, he literally was sad to leave Dallas. And I think there was a question of, was LeBron going to leave? Is he going to stay? There's still a slight question with that, but I think if LeBron, there's no place for LeBron unless he could just drop in somewhere. There's no place for LeBron to go where he's going to have a better teammate than Luka Doncic.
And if they start like 5-2 in their first 7 games of next season, he's going to be there for the season.
Yeah, it'll be gone. So yes. And that's where I think this team can easily get to that top 4, top 3 spot again. And if Luka puts up the numbers he has, and if he's just at that level that we've seen Luka, even without the skinny I'm in shape, those are numbers that are close enough to win an MVP. I think the media gives it to him. If this skinny Luka is here to stay, and he even takes that game up another level, maybe defensively, or he's able to really, I don't know, maybe the rebounds go up 1 or 2 more, and the assists go up 1 or 2 more, and he's constantly breaking that 30 threshold, it's like, come on, they're clearly going to give him the MVP because he's kind of owed it. And I'm here for it. I really am. I really am here for it. I'm pulling for Luka. I just think he's, from what has happened, Nico, Harrison, and that whole ordeal, right now people are actually thinking like, oh, wait, Nico won. It really shifted when the Mavs got Cooper Flag. I don't care what Cooper Flag does. He's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be Luka Doncic. There's no way he's going to be Luka Doncic. And so you still lost the trade because Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis and Kyrie is not going to, I don't know if Kyrie plays
Doncic
next year.
And it's Luka Doncic.
Freaking Doncic. Like, he just carried that Dallas Mavericks team to the NBA final. We're not going to rate. Anyway, I've got Luka MVP. You've got Giannis MVP.
The one thing I do want to say, though, Jordan, about the Luka part is, and I think this is so important that people don't people kind of grasp, but they don't put as much importance on it as they should be. And that's, he himself admitted that he's just now starting to get over what had happened in Dallas. And this is, we're recording this on August 13th. I got the notification like a week or 2 ago. I want to say it was a week ago that he now is fully past what happened in Dallas. So the new slate and the mental aspect of it, especially for a player like Luka, that's going to be really important into next season was not what happened last season. And I think that now there's some more continuity, right? Luka in year 2, JJ Redick now in season 2. And I think they're my sleeper. I don't know how far I want to go. I almost said they're going to be my sleeper championship team because I know there's still a lot of question marks. But this is your silver platter media narrative of Luka going scorched earth. He's pissed off. He's showing the league that he's still a top 2 player. Dallas, who might be hot next season in some spurts with Cooper Flagg. No, you still made the wrong decision. Like, it's there. I can hear the Stephen A. Smith rant now in my head.
I'm with you, and I'm here for it because I think Luka deserves it. I think it's to have that situation happen. I mean, it shocked when something shocks other NBA players and NBA media. That's how you know it's something drastic just happened. Because most of them understand, yeah, it's a business. Yeah, there's always little rumblings. This literally came out of nowhere. Luka wanted to stay in Dallas. Dallas absolutely adored Luka. It was the next Dirk who was better than Dirk. It was the next Dirk who was better than Dirk. Just got to the NBA Finals, and we've gone in about this too. You don't know. Hindsight's 2020. I get it from a playoff run. I don't. If Nico Harrison had just stood pat with that team and they stay healthy, I don't see a reason to completely write them off from not winning the West last year. And if they're in a series against the Indiana Pacers and it's not the Boston Celtics, I love Dallas in that situation.
Could you imagine if Oklahoma City, after the emotional toll that it took on them to beat that Denver Nuggets squad, after they win that Game 7, to then turn around and play the Luka Dallas Mavericks in that second round, in that conference finals? Totally agree.
Yeah, there we go. We're on the same page about a lot today. I think our biggest difference is
we got to start disagreeing. We got to start arguing.